Please share, guys. A bit of an impromptu stream, but please share, please share. Morning, Arlene. I don't have to tell you, get sharing. I'll watch my numbers, my eye numbers go up. I'm on 4 at the moment. Yes, Claire. So just behind the trees, let me just see if I can go in for a bit of a... Is a new Saddleworth school. Sorry about the picture. So I've come up here today to talk to the people of Diggle and all the villages. And really to the older generation. That's what I'm doing, saying this to the older generation. Because since running in Oldham Wood, I've been contacted. The oldest person who's contacted me is 92 years old. And she tells me that she's too scared to go in the town centre. Things are changing beyond her recognition. And she says she's too scared to go into the town centre, Oldham town centre. And so she should be. It's the biggest crime area in Oldham and one of the worst in Greater Manchester. That's Oldham town centre. As well as that, it's not a friendly place for LGBT people. Even though if I'm in Oldham town centre, I've seen someone's gay. I went to the gay pride the other week. I'm not going to beat them up. I'm not going to spit on them or anything. I've got respect for anybody. They can be who they want to be, but just don't force it on our children. But there isn't. There's lots of people in Oldham who don't like them. There's been several pretty prominent LGBT attacks around Oldham and on the tram system in general across Greater Manchester. Rochdale guy beaten black and blue unconscious for a week. Gang of Asians, and he was LGBT. There's been a couple of incidents in Oldham. So, this woman was right. It is a dangerous place. A few years ago, after the referendum, just before the referendum, I seen something about an honesty box. So you go to a farm at the entrance to the farm. There's a box where you can get eggs and you put money in. And the honesty box had been robbed, and it was by an ethnic minority. And another incident was a woman had a card stolen off her in Oldham town centre by, we think it was Romanian at the time. So this is pre-referendum. And I remember she put the post up, or her daughter put the post up, and loads of people were getting on a case. The reason she got robbed, because we have let these people come to Oldham. And crime, certainly handbag snatching, that kind of crime, shoplifting, is very prevalent in the Roma community. The police have said many a times a rise in crime due to that. Obviously, these people don't speak English, which goes to causing loads of problems with money. So I have to get translators in. But anyway, so I've just talked to a local resident as I was coming up. We're in his garden. And I said, are they still building 80 houses? He said, no, 66 houses are being built around this area. I think some of them are going to be down there. And up there. I said, well, what do you think of it? They're having to build these houses because the people in the villages, you've thought you've been safe. You've left Oldham, you've seen what's gone in Oldham. You knew that Gavin Opley was murdered in Waterloo Street. Didn't do nothing. Doesn't affect me. I'm not there. Now it's affecting you because we have to build houses. We're in a housing crisis. We've got too many people coming in the country and we're not building houses fast enough. Filling up our hotels, it's costing us loads of money. And it's you in the villages, it's your fault because you haven't cared about what's happened to Oldham Town Centre. Now it's going to affect you. They're going to be building houses. What are you going to do? You're going to get Afghan refugees, asylum seekers, Romas, Eastern Europeans in. I hope so. I hope that these houses are given to all sections of the community, right? And you're just going to have to put up with it. You can And when your houses are being robbed, when your kids are being oogled at or sexually assaulted, when your women can't walk down the street without being sexually assaulted or worse, you know what I mean? What are you going to do then? Yeah, you'll be crying then at the failures of the council. But you knew that people up here knew that this would happen eventually. They must have done. So, you know, and I'm not picking on anyone in particular, but it's been blindingly obvious how Oldham's going to go, and you haven't done nothing about it. The NHP UK, we're going to listen to you, 92-year-olds. If you feel that you need to say something, and this 92-year-old who talked to me from Holland said she can't talk to her son and her daughter because they pull a face at her. What's that? What's that? That a 92-year-old's son and daughter pull the face when she talks about immigration and the change. What is that? What is that? She brought them up, and she's been through a lot of worse life than them her kids have, and that's how they get taught to, these 92-year-olds who, honestly, not. I am supposed to be a counsellor, but if you're gonna upset 92-year-olds and be like that with them, then don't expect me to be a nice person, because I won't. I won't. You know what I mean? Some years ago, I would have wanted to beat you up, and anyone's son and daughter beat them up for treating 92-year-olds like that. I would have done. And this is what I'm being told off a 92-year-old person. So 92 is more knowledge than all them people in the council. All you who are running to be councillors, myself included, we should be listening to these people, but you don't. What you do, you pull your face and you screw at them because you don't want to hear that kind of stuff off them. Well, you can talk to me. Anyone can talk to me. I don't cancel you. If you're an older person, I will sit down and I'll listen to you. And that's what I've done with a lot of people in Oldham. I've listened to them, I've phoned them up, I've gone round, I've checked on them. People who aren't well, I've gone round and checked on them. You know what I mean? And, you know, like, so, you know, if you're older and you live in the villages, NHP UK, I will listen to you. I won't scrunch my face up because I don't like what you're saying. I won't judge you because I don't like what you're saying. I won't judge you. If you're uncomfortable with the way Oldham's gone with immigration, you can tell me. You can't tell other people. You can't tell Labour Party candidates, and even the independents will lift the nose up. But no, not John. I'm honest, and I'll listen to you, and I won't judge you. All right. So, you know, that's all the people who live in the villages. You should honestly think about it. I know that's a lot of you, how that is. If that 92-year-old's telling me that, and I've had a couple of people who were older saying the same kind of thing about the town centre, then the people up here are saying it as well. And if your son or your daughter are pulling your face at them, tell them that, you know, like, it's your view and your opinion, and how dare they judge you on your 92. Honestly, I just don't get it, mate. So there's 66 houses, I've been told, off a local resident being built around here. Don't know what kind of people are going in them. Maybe it's people from round here, but, you know, we have got 10,000 Afghans that need homing, 200,000 Ukrainians who've been asking for homes. We're spending 5 million plus a day on hotel stuff, as well as giving all these people money, and they earn money that a pension. A lot of these people are getting more money than our pensioners. They're getting more money than that 92-year-old. That 92-year cost of living crisis coming now, so all the elderly now are going to struggle. So going forward, I want 2 or 3 older people who live near me. And when winter comes, I'll be going round to their houses every day, checking on them, making, if they want anything from the time. That's what I'm going to try and do this winter, as well as everything else. But that's what I want to do, because I know that them older people are going to really struggle this year. my number's on my leaflet. My number's all over the place. It's on my description. If you like to phone me up, talk about anything, if I can guide you to anything, I'll give you some advice or help. I will. If you want me to listen to you, then I will do. But you know, don't let your kids tell you or judge you on your opinions. That's what you shouldn't be doing. That's why we're all messed up. A lot of these people won't say anything because they're older and they know what they're going to get off the son and the daughter. I'm not having anyone treating the elderly of Oldham like that. I'm not. But you know, if you don't want any immigration, don't be afraid to say, you know, NHP UK will listen to you. We don't want any immigration. We want to end permanent settlement immigration to the United Kingdom. No matter whether you're white, black, pink, brown, yellow, don't want anybody here. There's no housing, there's no infrastructure, and the identity of Great Britain is going down the drain. They started on the statues and people in history now, and they'll continue that. Then they'll be taking down statues and asking for things to be took down in your town centre, you know, and stuff like that. It's all coming. But, you know, up here, you are a bit blind. And that's one of the things that Oldham has severely lacked in the past few years, is that togetherness. Some of the villages work together well, and it does work together well up here, but you've forgotten Oldham Town Centre, and now they want to start building houses up here, and it's coming, and I'm all for building houses. If it's going to upset the residents of a village because they just want it all in Oldham Town Centre, I want them houses built. I'll be hopefully I'll be the chief housing officer in Oldham, and I'll be slamming them plans down to build houses. I will be slamming them down because we need housing. And if you've got a problem with that, then what you need to do is stop immigration. Kemi Badenoch said it well. We're never going to deal with the housing without dealing with immigration. We've got more people coming into the country than we are building houses. As well as the dangers of crime, we know that last week, 60% of the migrants coming here were Albanians, which isn't a war-torn country. But what Albanians famous for are Class A drugs, and they're all over the place. I don't know if you heard about the story of in the northeast, Durham, Albanian from Bolton was lured up there and point blank sawn off shotgun to the head, right, over a 10 grand weed grow. So that's just a room full of weed plants. Over that, executed. These are the kind of people who are coming over on boat. 60% last week, if I'm not correct. Can anybody confirm that? The Albanians, I'm sure I heard Steve Laws saying 60% of last week's coming in at Dover are Albanians. And I think that's right. I think that's about right. Last month 40%, but last week or something, or the past month or whatever, 60% Albanians. Not a war-torn country. We're not doing nothing. We're not doing nothing. We're not even. We've got this Rwanda thing on. We haven't even sent anybody, and we've still got people coming in. We had record numbers last. I'm sure Steve Laws, you can double check with anything on Steve Laws, but I'm sure that we had record numbers last week or in the past couple of days, record numbers, and we haven't sent anybody anywhere. So, I mean, NHP UK, we're against any permanent immigration sentiment, no refugees, no asylum seekers. Illegals will be treated as criminals and jailed until they go back to their countries. That's simple as. As soon as we treat them as criminals, come out of the UN 1951 Refugee Convention, the European Court of Human Rights, then these people will stop coming. These people will stop coming. I just had an incoming call then. So yeah, I'm in Saddleworth. They're building 66 houses around this area, and the building on the old Saddleworth school site, they're looking at building there as well, new houses. But you know, people are complaining. So tough tough because it's your fault that you've left it like that. It's your fault that you vote Labour and Conservative up here and they're not doing nothing about immigration. It's your fault that Oldham Town Centre's like it is. If you've not been there, houses of multiple occupation. We've got a big blog and story written for us by a top patriot about houses of multiple occupation, and they're destroying Oldham. Oldham Town Centre's the pits of like houses above chicken shops and things like that, and flats above chicken shops. People are just buying leasing the rent or renting them out and building flats and all that, and it's a disgrace, the town centre. But you know, these things was going to happen, and a lot of people knew that, but you haven't done nothing up here. Conservative, Labour, whoever you vote for, you haven't done nothing up here. Now, this side of it, I think, is predominantly Labour, so it's Debbie Abrams' patch. You've not done nothing about it, and it's your fault. It's your fault in the villages for thinking you're all right, that they're having to build houses in your villages now. It's your fault. It's not mine. It's your fault. Obviously, we can throw a load of blame on the council for not being bad management, not doing everything right, but could have stopped this if people would have voted differently. So if you're in Saddleworth, Diggle, anywhere like that, you want to get hold of NHP UK leaflet. I will, once we get going, we'll come up here and we'll be handing leaflets out and stuff like that. We need a different, you need to like get a working class, independent people in. Like I said, I won't cancel you. If you want to phone me up, you can do. My email's on screen there, and in my description, my phone number's there. But I'm in Saddleworth, and I'm at the new school Saddleworth site where they're building 66 houses around here. And you know, loads of people aren't going to be happy, but it's tough. It's tough. You didn't do nothing, and you've left Oldham Town Centre to really go in ruin. And there's no room in Oldham Town Centre for any housing or anything like that. So we have to build it in the villages. I don't know, you know, like what people thought was going to happen up here. That's why we need to stick together as a town, not just a little village together. We need to all come together as a town. I will work with other political party candidates, but I'm not going to be politically correct. And there's quite a few things that they won't like me for. I don't want any refugees. Half our council have got MBEs and OBEs, Raja included, for work with refugees. We're not having any of them in. We just don't want any more in. It's not racist. I don't want any white people here, as well as black people, as well as green people. That's it with me. People are selective on who they want here. Me, I don't want anybody. Our party does not want anybody. Don't want any Germans, don't want any Swedish, don't want any Africans, no Middle Easterns, don't want anyone from South America. Remember, I went to Wakefield with James and Active, and we identified 2 countries in South America where they're trying to get over here. These aren't European or Middle East, this is South American countries. There's nothing, we're not involved in anything down there, and they're trying to get over here, so it's not just Albanians, not just Middle Easterns, not just Africans. It's South Americans as well. Sorry, man, I didn't take my notification bell off my phone, and it's been ding, 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 ding. Well, the guy who I just talked to, then, according to him, the site over here is brown land. So I don't know about the price of the housing and all that. But I mean, housing in general, we're screwed over because there's people who own houses in the UK abroad. They never live here. They're renting them out, increase big rents, which increases the rents of everything else. And it's just disgraceful, honestly. So now your kids can't get an house. I had this off a few people in Oldham. One woman said that a daughter, she's got a 30 grand a year job and she can't afford a house, decent house. You know what I mean? And it's going to continue like that unless we do something. I'm not saying privatise, but our policy is anybody who owns a property who's not a British citizen, we're going to get that property back off them. And them properties are for British citizens, no matter what colour you are. If you're a British citizen, you've got a passport, you've lived here for however long, whatever race, religion, that property is for us British citizens. It's not for somebody who's increasing the rent and earning loads of money off it and renting out, and the council are paying someone's rent for it. It's not for that. It's not for that. It's not for that. We're totally against that. British homes for British citizens, not anybody else. British homes for British citizens. And we wouldn't be in half the mess, but we've not done that. We've sold them off, as you've seen in Oldham, a prime area for building houses. They've gone and built an Indian temple instead. And the area that it's in is the biggest area in Oldham that needs housing and that's overcrowded. And they've gone and built an Indian temple. We just couldn't make it up. So, you know, no more homes for people. Your daughters aren't going to be able to afford, your sons and daughters aren't going to be able to afford a home. Your grandkids aren't going to be able to afford it. They're going to have to stay at home. Your daughter and all that, you know, she's got a little family coming. They're going to have to stay at home, guys, because there's no houses for them. And if you do get an house, if an house does come up, you're at the bottom of the list. The Oldham housing list got changed around to priority overcrowding and poverty, and it's not the white people in Oldham. It's the refugees, asylum seekers, the Romas and all that lot. They're right up the top of the list before people who have lived here years and years and years, generations, 22 generations. My family, my white side of the family in Oldham, 22 generations. I put ages ago, I put the pictures up of my family tree. So, you know, 22 generations, and you're not getting an house. You're not getting an house. You've lived here in Oldham 10 generations. You're not getting an house. Your daughter, your granddaughter, you're not getting an house. So, yeah, end immigration. That's what we want. End to permanent settlement. So look out for us on YouTube, loads of social media sites, NHP UK TV, my Facebook page. All the links and that are in my description. All the links are in the description and all that. But yeah, so you know, I'm blaming you lot. Oh, the red wall and the blue wall up here. You kept voting for Deborah Abrams and all that. Oldham town centre's full up now to start building in the villages. And you don't like it. You don't like it that your Greenland's going, but you still vote Labour or Conservative. So, you know, you need to like not vote Labour and Conservative, and you might have kept a bit greener. But, you know, a lot of you, it's just ignorance, but a lot of you will be politically correct as well. You won't say it because you're afraid of upsetting minority communities. Well, then minority communities are not learning English in schools in central Oldham. So that means they're going to go into the antisocial behaviour bracket, crime bracket, more sexual assaults, no respect for Oldham values or anything like that, or the people of Oldham. Just going to get worse. Your little girls will get oogled at when they're at school. You know what I mean? And I've done this. I've reported on loads of shops around Greater Manchester where they oogle up little junior school girls, drooling at the face. These people who run the shops. Ashton. I went to that shop in Ashton. It happened there. And there's a school right behind it. A couple of schools in Oldham it's happened to. Sexual assaults in school. Bullying going on in front of teachers, not being able to do anything because they're just weak with the kids who are just animals, and that's all going on in Oldham. I'll be doing a video about the schools in Oldham. And one of the schools, the school that breaks Nigel Farage's, I don't want to say that name, but pre-referendum, he said about the schools in Oldham, and they've put a lot of focus into one school, and it's pretty good. But in doing that, they've left a lot of other schools to go into to rubbish where the support teachers can't even speak English properly themselves. So yeah, but anyway, thank you very much. I mean, Upper Mill, Saddleworth School. I know I've ranted on a bit. Again, to you elder generation who live up here, don't be afraid to tell your daughter and your son to piss off, because you know, you've been around, you've had your life, right, and you want to keep it right. And what you say is right. If it has changed in Oldham, it has, and it's not changed for the better. It's certainly changed for the worse. A very dangerous place for elderly people and stuff like that. I will eventually see some kind of crime statistics, and I'll do it again. I mentioned it, but you know, I've seen Greater Manchester Police tweet and post several times about certain sections of the community, like Romas. I've seen it. And if you remember, Tom English, a couple of years ago, Kim was in trouble in Liverpool, and he stayed there one night. And out of 5 interpreters that went in, 4 of them for Eastern Europeans. Honestly, you know, it's just mad. It's just absolutely crazy. But yes, you know, so phone me up. All my details are in my description. Please share it around. If it doesn't, if I want it on Pride of Oldham and Saddleworth group and any of the Oldham groups, but they probably won't have it on because they're too politically correct, even though I haven't said anything hateful or anything. I've just give you facts and figures. I can back everything up I've said. I can back up. When I tell you about schools that aren't learning English, I'll show you. I'll do the video. I'll show you the schools. I'll go through what's wrong with them and stuff like that. When I tell you that even though they're going on about increased security at drag queen story time, what they don't tell you is that a prominent Muslim activist came live on telly saying there could be riots again if you don't take gender identity out of schools. Now, I don't want gender identity in schools, but I'm not going to riot over it. I'm not going to threaten anyone to say there could be riots again. I'm not going to say that. I will go down the right route, the voting route, the democratic route. I'll do campaigns where I'm getting everyone's signature about getting this rubbish out of our schools and stuff like that. But I won't threaten riots over it. But these people do, and no one says anything. If I would have gone on telly and threatened riots over gender identity in schools, or a Christian or someone white, you'd have been locked up. You'd have been convicted of a crime. You'd have been sacked from your job. But this guy, this activist, gets money, grants off Oldham Council because he's head of Oldham Council Interfaith Forum. And he gets money. And at the time, 2018, he was getting just short of 20 grand out of council money. And he's on telly saying there could be riots again over gender identity. Honestly, you just couldn't make it up. Welcome to Oldham. Welcome to Oldham. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going off. I'll catch up with you all soon. Well, I'm out tomorrow. I'm in central Manchester. Unite the Children coming to Manchester tomorrow. I think there's several big names there, but I'm going down anyway. I'm going to take my mum, I think, because it's just off the tram lines and it's good, easy getting around on the tram with my mum. But thank you very much. I mean, I'm at the new Saddleworth School in Upper Mill. The old one's just a mile down the road, and they're building 66 houses around here. People aren't going to be happy, but it's tough. They're building it on brownfield sites, so I'm guessing they're not going to get as much for the houses, so that won't go well for the housing company because they like Greenland, don't they? But it's going on brownfield land, so I'm guessing the houses aren't going to be expensive. They could be, but it's going to add to traffic and all that lot in the area and stuff. But you know, you're gonna have to get up with it. You lot are gonna have to put up with it. And I mean crime as well. I talked about crime, but there's a lot more crime up here. Fly tipping big around here. In pre-referendum, Oh, about 2016, Eastern European guy tried fleeing the country because we were dumping rubbish in the villages around Oldham, and he tried to flee the country because he had a court case coming up. I mean, you know, there's loads of reasons. Obviously, I don't want anyone here at all, but we've brought people here who don't speak English and not. We have to employ people to show people how to live. We have to employ people to tell Pakistani families not to marry the cousins because it's genetically bad. We have to pay all this stuff, but nobody says anything. Nobody wants to say anything. Nobody will say anything, but Big John will. NHP UK here. I'll tell you honestly. And, you know, I don't make things up. I've always showed you proof. I've looked into it. I've done little investigations myself, and I've always showed you the proof. But, you know, nobody's got the bottle to talk about it. And because I have got the bottle to talk about, I've been branded this and branded that. But, you know, at least in my own judgment, my own morality, I think I'm doing the right thing by talking about it. That's what I think. My own morals tell me that. My own morals is that, like, if someone's being abused and no one's talking about it, then I will have to say something. I'm the person who will speak out. But anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you very much.